This is FULCRUM, a Star Wars podcast. Your way of tapping into the Force from a galaxy far, far away. Hello there.
Hello, what have we here? Here's where the fun begins.
Count me in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to FULCRUM, a Star Wars podcast. Today, we continue our Rebels rewatch with Season 2, Episodes 11 and 12. Episode 11 is titled Legacy. It premiered on December 9th, 2015. It was directed by Mel Zwyer and written by Henry Gilroy. Episode 12 is titled A Princess on Lothal. It premiered on January 20th, 2016, and was directed by Bosco Ng and written by Stephen Melching. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. I feel like I fuck up the written and directed thing once a week. One of them I end up saying directed twice, and I don't know why. But regardless,
it's tough for 2 episodes. You know, usually it's just
I'm keeping it straight. You know, and I'm memorizing it too. I'm trying not to hold the phone right there. You know, and stuff. So yeah, but regardless, we got quite the dichotomy of episodes here. Now they do work as a good pairing, you know. They do work as a pairing with the through line for Ezra and finding out about his parents. But beyond that, tonally, I feel like they are vastly different. How'd you feel about these ones this week?
Yeah. I mean, it was cool ones, kind of like the half season. I didn't even know that was a thing, that there would kind of be this, I guess, kind of end
the mid-season finale.
Yeah, mid-season
the
finale,
halfway point. Yeah.
So that it was cool to watch both of those. But yeah, these were some big Ezra heavy episodes. It feels like here, and I mean, we get, you know, obviously Leia's huge. So I mean, that's pretty awesome.
It's a huge win. That's a huge win for me.
Even it's great. Like the writer is like is it Azadi? Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Azadi.
I don't know why I feel like I want to say his last name wrong every time. But this collection of characters here was just actually like, just very not like maybe collection of a lot of different moving parts. Like more writer, like the performance of just having like an actual, just a really good actor come in, lay down.
He's not over the top, you know. Like he's the most real guy, I feel like, in the entire show, which is interesting, you know what I'm saying? Like, he feels like the most tangible person, which is kind of bizarre. Even Kanan is a little bit like, he feels like a character designed for a live-action show who is in an animated series, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that there's inherently something more heightened about live action, but there's certainly a different sense of character, I think, when it comes to live action versus animation. He's so toned down, and he's so normal, which kind of it makes him stick out, but in a positive way. You know, I love Clancy Brown. Obviously, he is my performance in the first episode, I believe.
Yeah, and you're just right here. I mean, I'm going with someone else to spread the love, but this is just kind of the choice, I think, for the episode.
Well, who are you going with?
I'm going with Taylor Gray for Ezra.
I almost went with him. I just went with, you know, Clancy Brown because of that fucking voice, but.
I mean,
Taylor Gray has to do a lot, man. He gets to reach into the bag a little bit, get emotional in a way we don't really get to see a lot. And Ryder Azadi, he's Ryder Azadi. You know, he's got the fucking he's stoic and he's beautiful. I love him. I love Ryder Azadi.
I wonder if it was someone that wasn't Clancy Brown, because like he had to deliver some pretty heavy news, and also his story is pretty, you know, he seems that he's kind of given up and he's like, no, I've been in prison. Don't ask me, you know, to even think about going back there. But then the slow drawback and him slowly helping but the monologue that he has to give of like,
I mean, it's really impressive because it's also exposition heavy and he delivers it like it's nothing. And that is my favorite scene. It's kind of gotta be, and it gives me my favorite characters. And I'm going characters this week. I'm going Mira and Ephraim Bridger for my characters of the week for episode 11, because I don't think I'll get a chance to do it again. You know, I don't think I'll get another opportunity. And learning that I don't know how I forgot this bit of information, that they were alive to hear Ezra's message. Oh my God.
Oh, it was a dagger to the heart, man. I did not know this before. I had no clue.
I just watched this and I didn't even fucking remember it. You know, like Dude, that got me. That got me good.
Yeah, no. With Clancy Brown, like I think like this is why I think like he truly deserves the performance, is because like if it was just some, not to call a voice actor just a random schmuck, but like if it wasn't like a, I don't know, someone with some gravitas to them, like I don't think it would have landed as well. But I was tearing up.
I cried,
so
man.
hard
Yeah, like
here,
I teared up really good. Yeah, and
Holy.
like that's. I think that might be a first on the season, the tearing up. Season 1, I think, gave me one whenever Ezra did do the speech, but I think this is the first time this season. And I mean,
a heavy one here. Dude. It was heavy, too. Yeah, it was. Ooh, man. But, yeah, I like, you went with his parents, and we'll get the Trinity here. I went with Ezra. I kind of gave him the double nod here. Yeah, for the first episode. I had to go with him for the first episode because I think I probably could have given Clancy Brown the double nod here, but I think Taylor Gray deserves his flowers here. It's been a while since I've gone with him. I think the last time I've gone with him was episode 4 of this season. So it's been
I mean he's a good fucking voice actor, man, and he does a great job with Ezra. And I think these 2 episodes he gets a chance to do a little more than he usually does. But sadly, I'm not going with him for either. Funny enough, but that episode 11, it's tense. It's moving. It's one of the better episodes of the show so far. There's something really, really poignant about the return to Lothal. And I just really, really dig it. I do. And I think that there's a lot of moving parts. The familial bond is strong in this one. My favorite line is so easily a Kanan line when they are approaching Lothal. Let me get the sheet pulled up here so I can get it word for word. I don't want to mess it up. He says, "Hey, I know what it's like to lose someone close and not have anyone. When I lost my master, I was alone. Regardless of how this turns out, I didn't want you to be." And that's just such a sweet sentiment, man. And it was damn close to going with Kanan for my character for that fucking reason. And Hera at the beginning, whatever happens, we're your family. Like this is a family matter. And that was another thing that I really appreciated about these 2 episodes is that Hera's momness, I feel like, was really, really strong.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was so many lines like that just like, maybe, the tear up moment really came whenever like he was told his parents are dead and they sparked a revolution. He did too. That was the heavy tears. But your line was just kind of like I didn't expect Kanan to just get that deep out of nowhere.
Really sentimental, Well, and you remember how much they have in common, it's, and I think that something about this episode and Ryder Azadi's story and Mira and Ephraim Bridger's story, now that I recall it, it hits a lot harder on the other side of Andor. Whenever Ryder says, I can't remember if it's episode 11 or 12, but he says, "I'm not going back to prison, Kanan. Don't ask that of me." Yeah. Like we know what happens in those Imperial prisons. And he says, I worked on building those clamps and stuff. We know they do the manual labor. We know they do that stuff. It's just so interesting on the other side of Andor to know exactly why Ryder's not willing to knowing that initially why he's not willing to overcome, like, fight, and then ultimately knowing what he did face in there and being like, you know what? Never mind. Let's fucking ride. Yeah. It just makes it all the cooler. So Ryder Azadi, underrated character, one that I wish maybe on this rewatch I'll find myself pulling a little bit more towards Ryder whenever a character opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, because I guess he's going back to be the governor again, right? Or just going back to Lothal? Like,
he's just going back to Lothal.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know if he was like,
because it's still ran by the Empire. He can't.
That's true. I guess he can't just really be like, "Ayo, I'm taking Lothal back." But I was just trying to remember.
He does become the governor again.
Okay, because that's what I thought. I thought there was some speech or some.
There is. It's in Ahsoka.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. He's actually for real in the show, huh? Like. Is it actually?
Yeah, it's Clancy Brown too.
Okay.
He's playing him in live action. Yeah, he's all over the place, man. Watching him in Penguin right now.
Wow. But yeah, I ended up going with him for the second episode for that flip. like for the slow.
Yeah.
Like I mean, obviously there is Leia here. It's hard to dismiss. I mean, it's kind of the whole
I just
episode.
principally, I can't not go with Leia. She is my favorite Star Wars character ever. So I figured you'd be willing to spread the love because there's some great character work in this one as well. Across the board, Kanan, Ezra, specifically Ryder though. Ryder was the one who stood out to me as being the coolest. You know, his slow return to the game, the rebellion. I loved it.
Yeah, his last line there, like he said, I couldn't see it before, but going to prison with the Bridgers started something, and that something has grown even bigger than I imagined.
Yeah.
And then I think there's and I owe it to them, and I owe it to you to see it through to the end. And I was just, you know, and Zeb is just like, oh, damn, man, and gives him like a pat on the shoulder, you know, like, and everyone just like gets closer to him and like doesn't even say a word. It's just like, damn.
No, they're like you've been through it, man, and you're
then,
coming back to the fight. You're a strong motherfucker, man. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So yeah, the Ryder Azadi arc over these 2 episodes is really strong. Obviously, the Ezra arc over these 2 episodes is really strong. And again, I want to say I am recording outside this week as well as I was last week. I'm also drinking wine, so if I get increasingly incoherent over the course of this episode and next, spoiler alert, we're recording a couple tonight, you might hear a dog howling in the other yard, you might hear some other good stuff, and you might hear me start to do a little bit of that. No, not for real. I can hold it together pretty well. But yeah, just wanted to forewarn everybody. The dog next door howled, and I was like, might as well tell people why that's happening. But yeah, no, man. Ryder's story was so strong, and the Ezra through line, man. His arc is so fucking good in these 2 episodes, and I think Leia in the 2nd episode is an extremely interesting character. Her age is incredibly ambiguous. She is supposed to be Ezra's age at this point in the timeline. Oh. She is days apart from Ezra, birthday-wise.
Okay. Yeah.
But she's obviously older in this portrayal, no?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it's maybe just off so that we would recognize instantly that it's Leia, maybe. But, I mean, she does instantly say, this is Princess Leia Organa right off rip.
I just think that there's... And they could be doing a thing where she had to mature a lot faster. You know, she's a princess. She's in the rebellion already. You know, like and she's grown up in it essentially. You know, so like maybe they're trying to do something there. I don't think that's the case. I think that they are just going for a recognition factor. And this is supposed to be Leia. You're supposed to recognize it as Leia. Fuck it, let's go. But I love the possibility of a 1-episode arc where Hera gets to mom Leia. Hera gets to mentor Leia for 1 episode. That would have been so fucking cool.
Because it just kind of wouldn't feel right with her age, like kind of, or like with the portrayal here. Yeah, it would feel kind of, you know, maybe. I guess maybe.
Well, and then it becomes odd to think about how Leia and Ezra are the same age because she's really mentor-esque to him at points, you know?
Yeah.
But they make it just vague enough to where it could just be like, I get it, man. Let's saddle up. We got work to do. I think that you're a strong motherfucker just like me. You know, let's do this shit. So, like, it's just vague enough to where it could be that they're the same age and she could just have matured a little faster. But regardless, I think that she's obviously not portrayed as the same age as Ezra in this episode, which is funny to me. I think that's always a little funny because he's born on Empire Day, and I think Luke and Leia are born like 2 days after Empire Day. You know,
dang. So yeah, Ezra's older.
I think Ezra's older than her.
I mean, yeah. Wow. Yeah, it does not feel that way. That's for sure. And I guess, you know, there could be something there to where Leia has had to grow up way faster. And then also, like, I guess, you know, I wouldn't say Ezra's childhood has been easy, but I think...
No, not by any stretch, but he hasn't been in the shit, you know? He's been trying to survive, you know? Like, he's been getting by, but there wasn't the expectation of being royalty that came with it, you know? Like, he didn't have to present himself, and he didn't have to show out, and he doesn't have to, you know, show up for the Senate, and he doesn't have to,
do the
present
double
his
life
royal
thing.
court.
That's true.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he's got a whole other thing going on.
That does kind of suck for Leia, like having to like make it look good and having to play by all the rules, but Ezra can just be the rebel, like be and be authentic and be like whatever. But Leia has to. She's doing, what she wants to do.
Important work too.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of this gives her a position she wouldn't have otherwise if she didn't act like this. But it was kind of cool to see that side where it's like, yeah, she can't just, I guess, give ships to the rebellion, because it would look weird, and then they would be tried for treason, and the straight up explanation she gives. And I'm like, I guess that's true. To think of just how impossible it is to fight the Empire, but it's still being done, and because that's what Leia does tell Ezra, like, and it's crazy because she does feel totally like a mentor. But they are the same age, but it's all about experience, I guess.
And that's not impossible, it's not like that doesn't happen. But like, I just think even character design wise, she's obviously older than Ezra. Regardless, the line she delivers where she's like, "I'm somebody who feels, I fight because I know I'm capable, and I fight for those who can't." I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and she goes, "I suspect that you are the same."
Good old Jedi. I feel like that's been said. Maybe even Ezra has said that earlier this season, even maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like I took that. I feel like I took that down. Like,
he
because
says, like, somebody asked why
that's
we're
what
even
we
doing
do.
this.
We help those who can't help themselves.
And
it was the first episode of this season.
Yeah, that's right. Good call. Good pull.
Wow, that's. I wonder if there was a little pull through there. If it was on
little
purpose.
Force insight, maybe. Force insight.
Yeah.
That could be cool. But there is something really cool about the fact that I'm pretty sure this would be the first time Leia's seen a Jedi. Canonically, seeing Kanan light up his lightsaber and go attack and at like that's fucking sick.
It took some planes and some cables, and then Luke yoinking up to one, throwing a grenade in there to get these things down. But man, if we just had a I don't know, thinking just to slice the legs out, I don't know, this was sick.
Yeah, if we had the effects to make
that's true. I guess it would have been, in that time.
It was more a matter of circumstance at that point. Yeah,
that's
no,
fair.
but that's that's the freedom animation grants you. But
in Ezra being like, "Hey, check this out." I feel like he wanted to do the same thing, but then he's like, "Oh no, I'll actually."
Then he gets fucked. Yeah,
he's got a different battle. But Kanan, it's nice to still have Ezra be humbled every now and then, and still show the difference between the two. And but yeah, this I don't know, the constant like just back and forth of duping the Empire and Leia just playing them like, I don't know, complete textbook. And I guess even at some points it felt like the Empire was like reading Leia perfectly. They're like, "Oh, we know your game by now, or whatever, and we're gonna put these gravity locks on you."
They suspect her really, really strongly. Like they're like, "I know you're doing something. It can't be coincidence that all this shit happens, And then she sells it really hard, and they're like, "Oh fuck, okay." Like she's willing to get stunned, and she's like all that good stuff. It's pretty convincing, But no, man, I had a really good time with these two. I think that it's a great pair of episodes, and 11, specifically had that poignancy that the show has the ability to access, but does it quite sparingly, and so when it does, it just fucking hits you, Yeah, it's strong. It's strong, and I think that 12 has a little bit of that too. There's that moment whenever Ezra comes back to the Ghost, and it's the first time Sabine and Zeb and Hera have seen him since the news officially that his parents were dead. And Sabine's like, "Well, at least now you know." And Hera's like, "We're all here for you." And Zeb's like, "I'm sorry, kid." And, like all that good stuff. And Leia kind of watches from the sideline, kind of observing it in a way that... Do you have a good read on what exactly is going on there in her head? Like, is she just that empathetic? Is that all that's going on there, that she's like, "Oh no, this poor kid, what happened?" Like kind of...
I guess she is distant, watching over. Like she knows she's not part of this family.
Yeah, she can't be like, sorry, kid.
But she's still, human, and I think it's I think that's probably all it is, because I can't think.
I was trying to think if there was something she was relating to, but or maybe even not relating to. Like she senses that she's lost family, but she doesn't know who.
I guess she's never known her parents at all. I mean, she's had parents.
Yeah, and they are transparent about that. I'm pretty sure by this point, Bale and Bria have been transparent about the fact that they are not her biological parents. I'm fairly certain that's the case by now. But
so I guess it could just be a longing for, man. I've never known my parents. My true parents. So
and now Ezra's got Hera and Kanan, and perhaps they're a little bit of the Bale and Bria to Leia. Maybe that's something. I mean, obviously they didn't raise Ezra by any stretch, but they've taught him at a really important and crucial part of his life, to be sure.
Yeah, the beginning of that episode, like, Ezra has his vision, and he's like, "Oh, I have good news. I saw my parents. It's all good. They're alive. Blah blah blah." And then Kanan and Hera bring him in just the other room with the hologram of all the planets that they could have been.
Oh, that's where my shot came from, by the way. Whenever they're looking at all the prison planets.
Oh man, yeah. This was another tear up moment here. Hera throws
the sheer
in
numbers.
Yes, Hera throws in that. We called in every favor with every smuggler, traitor, and pirate we know. Even asked Senator Organa to inquire with his sources, but we couldn't find them. I'm sorry. And they just behind the scenes have been going to town and trying to find
it down for their boy, their son.
And I mean, this, Ezra goes, thanks, Hera, specifically to Hera, and I don't know, it kind of felt like, did Kanan not do anything? Was it just Hera? I felt like, I don't know, it could have been a thanks, guys,
I think that there's a suspicion on Ezra's part here, because that stuck out to me too, that to a degree he understands Hera probably had to do the heavy lifting. She's the one with most of the contacts. She's the one with the good relationships with most people. Kanan's a little too snarky and smarmy, and people get fed up with him quick. So I think that there's a little bit of a understanding that if they've been working on this, Hera had to do the heavy lifting. And it was probably her idea. And maybe there's a certain, because Kanan doesn't seem to take offense to this either. He's just kind of like, you get it, So I do think that there's a degree to where Hera, she's been, working a 9 to 5 and also working the night shift. You know what I'm saying? That's what Hera's been up to as the mom she is. But she's an incredible character, and she actually, I'm giving Vanessa Marshall my performance for the second episode, even though she's really sparsely implemented. In the second episode, she opens the episode as the hologram in that message with Ryder and Kanan. She's talking to them, getting the update about what happened. And there's a mode Vanessa Marshall can enter where she's just so overwhelmingly mom. And I don't mean that like mommy. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean she is mothering. You know what I'm saying? She's more empathetic and the most kind and understanding person there is, all through her voice. And it's really, really impressive. And it stuck out to me in those first moments of episode 12, where I was like, she is so fucking good at that. So I had to give her a little love for that.
Forever the Star Wars mom. I don't know. There's not really, I'm trying to think of who else could step up. I mean, Padme would have been a good mom, but just really had no shot. No shot.
Leia would have probably been a good mom had it not been for all the stuff.
Just trouble child there.
Not really her fault.
And Shmi, I guess Shmi's nice.
Shmi's a great mom. Shmi is a great mom. That's one of note for sure.
Yeah.
And we learned Beru raised Luke really, really protectively and really, really well. It was obviously Owen who was a little bit more of a hard ass, even though he did love the kid.
Needed him for the farm. Yeah, needed the hands. But no.
Yeah, but
wanted to.
It seems
let
like
him go
Hera
fly.
kind of rises above the pack because she's even a mother to characters who shouldn't need a mother. You know what I'm saying? At this, I mean, not to say that anybody doesn't need a mother. We all need a mom, but
she's Zeb's dad or Zeb's dad. She's Zeb's mom for real.
She is Zeb's dad. No, I'm with you. Like she is definitely Zeb's mother figure, you know, and I think that's more a product of him feeling like a sibling to Sabine and Ezra more than anything. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when she throws out a Gara Zeb Aurelios, you know, you feel that. You've heard that.
He's like, oh,
you know.
Oh, yeah, you stand. You know, yeah. That's when his
a
knees
Colton
go
Lee
vertical.
Robertson.
Yeah. I don't know. He's no longer crooked, or his hips go vertical too. I don't know.
Right, he stands straight up. Yeah, he locks in.
Locked in. Yeah, no, but yeah, Hera was good. I had to go with Leia in some fashion, so I had to give the voice actor for Leia here, which is Julie Dolan. I don't know if I guess I didn't really look into what other things she was in. If she's like Leia in anything else, or if this is just it for Rebels.
I think she might have done it in like some shorts on Disney Plus. I might be mistaken, but
the video game, I guess, is her. Maybe the video game Star Wars Uprising, and then Rebels, and then Lego Star Wars. It looks like the only Star Wars cred she has, at least on IMDb. But only one episode for Rebels, and that's it. I guess that makes sense. I didn't really remember Leia was in Rebels to begin with. It was a nice delight. Whenever I don't know, I saw the thumbnail. She was on there before the episode started. So I guess I knew before I was getting in, but it was a nice treat. But I guess the only time we'll see her. But a delight.
Yep. No coming back. No coming back here. But great character, and great episode. Because I mean, I went Leia fucking Organa for my character, and I typed it into the box in the way that Nick Cage says it in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Do you remember when he says, it's like part of the trailer. He goes, Nick fucking Cage. Whoa, Cage, yeah. That's how I felt when I typed in Leia fucking Organa.
Right. Perfect.
But,
whenever we get the total tallies of the characters for the whole show, we'll have to include that. That has to be part of the tally in somehow. That whole expression is involved. I think that gives Leia at least, she's only in one episode, and we won't get her again. I think this is at least like a five character in one weight here, I guess.
For sure. She holds it down.
Because, man, she was like, we were talking like Hera's the motherly figure here, but like Leia's coming in, same age as Ezra, but like she's the boss. I mean, she's
commanding shit.
Like, yeah, she's
and
like...
that's one of those things that makes me feel like they are aware she's supposed to be the same age as Ezra, because Ezra at the beginning even goes like, I don't get to make, I don't get to boss you around, I don't know if he just knows they're the same age, because it's probably pretty public information how old the Princess of Alderaan is,
True.
it can't be a secret by any stretch, so like that's why I'm interested by I think the design choice was literally just to indicate to you a little bit more and kind of add a certain layer to the presence she has, because she obviously is commanding the scene, but I think that would be even cooler if she presented as younger. I don't know. I think that if she had the self-possessed air that she has in this episode, and she looked closer to, obviously she hadn't been cast in the live action role yet, but if she looked closer to Vivian Lila Blair than she does Carrie Fisher, I think it works, But and I love the way Kanan is down to listen to her, and there's a delivery she has whenever she's talking to the Imperial, where he's like, "I'm sorry," and she goes, "It's Your Highness," and I loved the way she snapped at him like that. I was like, "That's my fucking princess right there. I love you." I love me some Leia, man.
Yep, that was after the gravity locks came in and the triple secure, the AT-AT.
Yeah, she was like, "Okay, now I'm pissed."
Yep, nope, you'll refer to me as you should now, please and thank you. And she
no familiarity here.
Yeah, all business from that point on. But man, you love the got to make this look good, Ezra. Like, don't worry, you got my permission. All right, see you later, princess. Boom, and then,
love it. Love it.
I mean, kind of crazy that like he knew to stun. I mean, like that like Leia was not like, hey, like I don't know, stunned
Wing
me.
me.
That was that I like. He could have like just boom, knocked her with the butt of the gun or something like that if he wasn't thinking right fully or something. I don't know.
He's
Maybe
like, okay. Yeah, no, but I love the way Zeb takes advantage of that privilege, make it look real, knocks Kanan and Ezra the fuck out, and then the way that the Imperials react, like they're taking prisoners. They do that now. It's so fucking funny, man. I love it.
Zeb
and
really
I feel like,
gets some punches in there. Oh
yeah, he has a great time.
Ezra and Kanan wake up and they're like, man, what the fuck, dude? Like, why did you have to do that? No, yeah, but. Man, I don't know. I love Leia was a good sassy, a good amount of sassy, and just commanding, and I don't know. It was a very good portrayal of her.
It was a great and like a good way to, and that's why I think there's a chance that this portrayal works even better if she comes off as younger. Like
how far along she already is, at such a young age.
So that's why I'm like, that might be my only critique of this episode is that Leia seems too old.
The Robin,
but even so,
problem. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll finally get a young Robin here coming up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just. I think it's probably just off recognition because I don't think they are trying to play up the maturity to that level. If they were,
no, I don't think so
I think they do make her look younger to actually play on that like even more. So like, yeah, it's I don't know, a little if we could just have this one episode remade a little bit and just have Leia look a little younger.
Yeah, just a little tweak. Just a little tweak. It's not and like it's not even that big of a problem, I still enjoy the shit out of it. I love Leia. She's still my favorite character.
I mean, she's seeing Ezra sitting there like all depressed looking at a picture of his parents, and then she's the one to get him to be like, "You know what? All right, let's go." No, it's time to fight.
And there's some gorgeous animation in these two episodes. Like the final shot of episode 11 whenever Kanan is like the moons are setting. It'll be morning soon, and like they go stand on that cliffside looking at the moons. It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Twin moons. Come on, man. Yeah, it's like you got the twin suns on Tatooine, and now we're getting the twin moons over here. It's just too nice. And that's Ezra's like he is sitting on that cliff, and that's where he has like where he sees his parents, for the last time, and kind of give them the goodbye.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, and he tells Kanan like I saw them again. He tells him he sees them again. It's like
and he does, and he says like they will be with you always. The way they talk about the Force, like it's so good. That's why like I am so happy with the way like Rebels is a top 2 Star Wars show.
Yeah,
no matter how you spin it, it's Andor and this. And I mean that in every sense. The quality of it is just that good, and it blows me. It continuously blows me away. And analyzing it a little bit more on this level, the way that we had the same reaction to Game of Thrones. When we were watching it week by week, we were like, "Holy shit, this is even better than I ever thought about the first several seasons." And then, wow, this is worse than I ever thought about the last couple. But regardless, like this is even better than I realized, and I already thought the fucking world of it. You know what I'm saying? I already thought this was a top 2 Star Wars series, and now I'm like, there's no fucking doubt it's a top 2 Star Wars series. If anyone disagrees, I feel like they're wrong. Now everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not actually feeling that way, but that's how it makes me feel when I'm watching it. I'm like, God damn, I don't know how you could think this isn't as good as some other shit.
Maybe a hot take here for some people, but I feel like Rebels, the graph of how good it is over time for someone who just watches it, the amount of times you watch Rebels, it just keeps going up. Like there's never a time where it can get worse. It can only get better the more and more you watch it. But like you look at a show like Clone Wars, and I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like it's the inverse. Like I feel like you are like, it is really, really high at the beginning because it's Ahsoka, it's Obi-Wan, it's Anakin, it's everyone you want. And then I don't know, it's like it's not a whole show. It's not, the anthology part. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I I like, you know, a more narrative. I like this.
No, yeah, a linear narrative does help a lot. And the Clone Wars has its place. You know, I don't want to, because the anthology format is more than anything where I take issue. I can't connect, and you know, like, we already connect with the characters on a certain degree. It's not new. There's nothing that's like kind of. I mean, it is new. That's why it's complicated. That's why it's such a bizarre. I just think that the anthology format more than anything harms that show. But there's also this weird sense where like that show probably wouldn't be as good as it is if it was narratively linear.
Yeah.
You know, like it probably wouldn't be that as good if it just ran the way you'd expect it to.
Yeah, the episodes themselves are good, and it is really just the format that gets me. And I just. I don't know. There's no question about it for me. Like if I mean, it is Andor. Andor will always be king, I feel like. But then there's no question of what number 2.
Season 2 has to flop fucking hard for me to not think that it's the best TV show in Star Wars.
Yeah, and I guess if it does somehow, in some way, Rebels will take that spot. But I don't know. I don't think that'll happen, but I don't know. We've got the top 2 Star Wars shows here. That's for sure. I mean, it'll only get. It is like a fine wine. I don't know. Rebels. There's the more you dissect it, the better it is, and I think that's just a testament. You know, just like Game of Thrones, like it is that well written, and you can't really pick any holes in it because the more and more you scratch at every little detail, it's like wow, there was a purpose maybe behind that, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes we might be just kind of looking into things too deeply, and but I don't know. It's the beauty of the writing is sometimes it just shakes out that way. But
no, for sure. And you know, I've always been staunchly of the mind that, you know, it's art. You know, if you interpret it to mean a certain thing, then that's what it means to you. You know, like that's all that really matters. I think that's deeply important. You know, obviously creative intentions are important; they matter, but. If you feel a certain way about it and you want to think about it a certain way, then like who's gonna fucking stop you? That's the freedom of art. So like, you know, that's how I feel about it. But I know we got a couple goodies this week, and I'm super happy with it. But I don't think I have much else to say on it. Do we think we're ready for trivia?
I think we did them their justice. I think we are there. Let me get my answers pulled up here. I guess. Maybe I'll keep that in for now. But the first one here, I'm going. I like the sequels. I'm sticking with the newer kind of stuff here. And this is out of Force Awakens, and it is right after Rey touches the saber, the family saber, and has her vision. This is the final voice that she hears whenever she's coming out of the vision. She hears a voice. I guess kind of a two-parter. I want to know who is this voice
and what
that she
say?
hears, and yes, what do they tell Rey in this moment?
These are your first steps. Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Obi-Wan.
Bonus points. Can you tell me which Obi-Wan says this?
Oh, Alec Guinness.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is what I thought. I thought the whole line was Alec Guinness. It is both. Alec Guinness says Rey, just Rey. And then Ewan McGregor comes in for these are your first steps. And so it's both of them in this line. And
okay, yeah. I could have swore. I feel like when I hear it, I hear fully Alec Guinness. These are your first steps.
Maybe Ewan McGregor's trying to hone in a little bit there. I don't know. Maybe
I mean, because he would have had to come in and record that line because that is an express line from A New Hope that Obi-Wan says to Luke. I always thought it was just archival sound that they were using from that scene,
and that's what because Rey, like when did Alec Guinness say Rey? Like
is it not? Is there any chance it's the other way around? It's not the other way around.
These are your first. I guess I was going off of just my ears, and I mean it was just clear enough, I guess, to me to say that, but let's see.
Is there a chance it's Steven Stanton?
These are your final steps. Ewan McGregor voices Obi-Wan in The Vision, at least on this article here.
That's
is
wild.
It totally
I mean, that
him?
makes sense.
I wonder if it's totally him, because
and it's him doing a fucking impression?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the Ray sounds just like Alec Guinness. I mean, it is like, that's the part that I can't.
Ray.
I mean, yeah. But when would he have said
your
Ray?
First tips.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I would like to play it and actually just listen to it right now. But...
Okay, there is also archival sound of Alec Guinness.
Oh, okay. So it is like a archival.
There's kind of a melding going on.
I wonder if it was like an AI thing, like before. I don't know. Is that too early for Force Awakens? Would that not?
I think it would have been just a little. I think there's a really good chance Ewan McGregor said the Ray in an Alec Guinness kind of intonation, and then, I mean, because These Are Your First Steps is expressly straight out of A New Hope, and like they actually, like Frank Oz, I'm looking at it now, did record new audio as Yoda for that scene.
Whoa!
And then they ended up using archival audio from The Empire Strikes Back. So like it like they did use archival audio in that sequence, which is why I'm like it just feels bizarre.
Wow, yeah. I mean, what I'm seeing is that it's totally Ewan McGregor for like the whole
That's
line,
bizarre.
but man, I could have sworn like Ray sounded exactly like Alec Guinness. But
right.
I could hear the Ewan McGregor like the hint of him. I could hear it in the These Are Your First Steps. Like it did feel like there was a switch whenever I was listening to it.
These Are Your First Steps. Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of get what you're saying now. But yeah, no, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I did know it was Obi-Wan. I did know it was These Are Your First Steps. But because I can even see it in my head. She's stumbling backwards out of the room. And it's when Maz walks up to her. Yeah, I like me the sequels, man. So I'm gonna stick with you there. I'm gonna go sequels as well.
Okay.
But my question is which movie is it? Sort of thing.
Okay.
Which? Never mind. I'll come back to that eventually.
Okay.
I will come back to that eventually. I framed it as which Star Wars film, and I did not specify it was the sequels in the question, so it takes your options from 11 to 3.
Yeah, that narrowed it down quite a lot.
So I'll go ahead and save that for a different day. I do have another, and I will likely save that for a completely different week now. But the In the Phantom Menace, let's go with this one. In the Phantom Menace, we'll go prequels. The Boonta Eve Classic shows us the likes of many extraordinary characters. Aside from Anakin Skywalker, can you name me 3 pod racers who took part in the race?
Okay. Let's see. Sebulba.
Yep.
That's kind of the easy one. That's I should have gotten Sebulba.
I will even give you a half point if you get 2 of them. I'll give you a little credit. I'll give you a little credit if you get 2 because
I can picture another guy.
I know which guy you can picture too.
I don't know what's his species. He's some alien. What is his species? I'm imagining the introduction of all of them just going down the line. Oh man. Name wise, yeah, that's gonna be near impossible to pull a name. Because some of them are spoken in English, the other are spoken in Huttese, the other half, because the announcer is just half speaking in English, and the other is in Huttese. I think it's Huttese, at least.
Yes, it would be.
But, well, yeah, no, I guess Anakin. I don't know. I'm assuming that one doesn't count, other than Anakin as well.
I did say aside from Anakin.
Yeah, that. And, there is no one else on our...
I will say, if you name a second, I will give you Anakin to total at 3. Yeah.
No, that's... I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get there. There's a blue blob guy, I feel like. Or maybe it's actually in the cantina randomly. I don't know why that came out of nowhere. Or maybe a fan.
Are you thinking of what's this?
Just a blue puffy kind of guy. I don't know, kind of like just
he's the. Oh goddamn! Oh, we're getting fucking shit on for not knowing this guy's name right now.
Oh my god, blue. What do I even Google for this?
Blue puffy alien Star Wars. It's gonna.
Okay, here he is. Yes. Now just give me his name. Come on, this is him. Max Rebo. Holy shit.
Max Rebo. God damn, I can't believe I couldn't remember Max Rebo. Oh. Yeah, that's giving us fake Star Wars fan status right there, not being able to remember Max fucking Rebo.
Yeah, if I can't remember Max Rebo, I'm not going to be able to remember another
you're not
pod
gonna be able to
racer
remember.
name
So
either,
the one that I thought you might be able to get.
Ooh, okay.
And the one I'm pretty sure you're thinking of. Is Ben Quadraneros.
Ben Quadraneros. Let's see if the name isn't ringing the bell, but maybe the
he's the other one that has a tough time off the start.
Shape triangle diamond head guy. Yes. Okay. He was the alien guy I was trying to describe, and I had no idea how to even begin.
Yeah, I knew as soon as you started talking about him, I knew you were talking about Ben Quadraneros. But Ben Quadraneros, Rats Tyrell, Odie Mandrell. And another one that I thought might ring a bell, because it did for me, was Dud Bolt.
Dud Bolt. Oh, man, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so we got... And there's a few more, but I just took down enough that I was like... I got to a certain point, I was like, these are definitely not getting named.
Yeah.
If you'd have dropped one of the ones I didn't write down, my mind would have been fucking blown.
That would have been kind of nuts if I just throw out a... I don't even know who. Who else? But I don't. I'm terrible with names, and especially if it's someone who just blew up in this pod race, and we never even saw again. Yeah, I don't know. But Sebulba, I don't know. I guess Sebulba, that's the gimme. I feel like that
is the one. Well, and frankly, it's good that you remember Sebulba. Mm-hmm. If you hadn't, I'd have been a little upset with you. Yeah. That would have been Max Rebo level. That would have been Max Rebo level if you couldn't remember Sebulba.
Yeah, I'm glad I at least got there. But okay.
But with that, I think we can conclude this episode of Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, and we'll be back next week with episodes 13 and 14 of Season 2 of Rebels. Mm-hmm. If you would, head to Twitter, follow at the Fulcrum Pod. There you can get any updates on what we're doing. We're only a few weeks out now from covering the Skeleton Crew, which I'm very, very excited. That's coming in December. It's a little over a month away. I cannot wait. On Fridays, we're currently doing our movie podcast called The CINEMENTALISTS. The CINEMENTALISTs. That's cinema sentimentalists. You know, it's a fun play on words. You can go check that out because we are currently doing our live commentary series on the Star Wars original trilogy, and it wraps up this Friday with Return of the Jedi. We've already done A New Hope. We've already done Empire. And now this Friday is Return of the Jedi. And therein, just like the last couple weeks, we're going to grant you a nice little 10-minute snippet at the end of this episode. You can check it out, and we will appreciate you greatly for it. Please go subscribe to the CINEMENTALISTS. That would mean the world. We love doing the movie podcast. You need to go follow that. That would be awesome. We're dispatched from Penny Bloom Podcast. That's our main show. We also do that on Friday mornings. It's a lot of fun. The Penny Bloom Dispatch. We cover entertainment news and science news and sports and so much. It's so much fun. We're so plugged in. We're more on than we've ever been, and you need to be there. And for any updates on anything we're doing, you need to be following on Twitter at PennyBloomPod. That's where you need to be. We're also doing Death by Television right now. We're covering Penguin. We're probably reaching about the halfway point this next week, so you need to be checking that out. If not, if we didn't reach it earlier this week, I can't remember. Yeah. Either way,
episode 4, it is halfway this week.
Okay, we're halfway through Penguin, so yeah, we're looking forward to the back half of that. You need to check that out. And yeah, I think with that, I can leave you with this. Leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. That really helps us, and I appreciate it a lot. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, for light and life. to the CINEMENTALISTS. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. This is probably my favorite Chewie look. The flock of seagulls Chewie. It looks like he got his hair did.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. He does look a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, but like done up. Yeah, like he does look like he kind of tried.
It looks like he has a hairstyle. Yeah.
Before he was just scruffy and I don't know, he was just Chewie. Yeah. I feel like there was no attention to it, but now...
Now it looks like he has bangs cut.
Yeah, he's like he's in the fight. You know, everyone else is looking great, looking fine. So he's like, I gotta stand
it's
out.
Chewie's finest movie too. You know. Little Wicket the Ewok.
Yeah, they're never a threat. You know, it's even with a spear in hand and pointed at. It's like, oh,
yeah, Leia being
come
like,
on, little guy. You know what you doing? Get that out of here. But
I have to focus on their whole being and not so much their faces, because their faces are fucking freaky.
Yeah, they're not the cutest. You know, they're a cute overall, but yeah, if you focus
eyes are horrifying.
Yeah, they're like gremlins. Like they remind me of just I don't know, a gremlin face only, but then with just a cute body.
Little teddy bear guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I feel like all their faces are just kind of freaky looking. There's not really any of them that are actually kind of cute.
Not a lot of variation. But yeah, I've always loved the performance of Wicket by Warwick Davis. Just the curiosity and the physical performance here it's really strong. You know, I think it's an underrated aspect of this movie, is how good, because like you never for a second, I mean, like for me, think about the fact that it's a person in a suit. You know, like that is just an Ewok, and I think that's really, really impressive to pull off. Warwick Davis has had a very strong working relationship with Lucasfilm. He's actually in every Star Wars movie after this. In some capacity, pops up and everything. You'll actually remember him specifically from Solo. He's in the Marauder gang that Enfys Nest leads, and he plays. He also plays Willow in the movie Willow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So that's him here. Wow. Is this the first time he pops up in Star Wars?
Yes, this is the first. I mean, he's also very young at this point too, like a kid. I can't remember how old he is here, because he's not very. He's pretty young in Willow even. Let's see. I'm gonna look into it real quick.
Yeah, because I recognize
Warwick
him now.
Davis.
Now that you say the Willow, yeah, there.
That
he was in there.
At the time of filming, he would have been 11 or 12.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. That's
so very, very young. The movie came out when he was 13 though. So like that's just me guessing 11 or 12, probably 12 more likely. Well, maybe not. Probably did take a while to film these things, but
and then just a staple in every single one somehow.
Every single one after.
Since then. Blasting. Yeah, man.
She cold.
And yeah, I don't know. Now that the helmet is off and showing her hair, this is like her with the helmet is cool, but no, the helmet off, it all just comes together.
The braid, crown, yeah, no, she's just too cool, man. I think if I had to go with a favorite character in this movie, it probably would be Leia. It's just Hutt Slayer Leia and the befriending of the Ewoks, and going and saving Han in the bounty hunter outfit, nearly acting like she was going to blow the fucking place up. It's cool. I like the whole.
Oh yeah,
I like the whole vibe.
She was who I came down with. For me, character wise, I thought that it was for sure Luke Skywalker. As that's just who that's the nostalgia character. I feel like for this movie, just for green lightsaber. I don't know, the Jabba's kind of moment alone.
I mean, like the fulfillment of his arc, the betraying of
true.
not betraying, but like the idea that he had to kill them, had to kill his dad, whatever. Like
he was
it's
steadfast. You know, he never.
Yeah.
He might have got angry a little bit. You know, he did get angry for a little bit there, but he did hold true. You know, he did throw his saber down and let the he was gonna let the Emperor kill him straight up. So
I love this moment where Vader's like, I felt him, and Palpatine's like, strange that I have not.
Yeah.
Do you think that Vader is protecting his son? In the Force?
Oh.
From Palpatine?
Oh. I never thought of because I guess.
Yeah, he goes, strange that I have not felt it. Are you sure your feelings on this matter are clear, Lord Vader? Like, if I don't feel it, and you must be doing something about it. Which I think is a cool concept.
Yeah, because it is made clear that Palpatine knows everything that's going on. You know, like everything is from his plan, and it's going perfectly. So yeah, that is. I wonder. Like, what other reason do they put that in there? You know, I guess to just show that there is, some actual conflict with Vader.
Right.
There definitely is. But, yeah, that is... I never thought about it, like, from the Palpatine angle of him being like, I actually haven't felt him at all. That is... I wonder if he just knows the plan, or he's... I don't know. Like, if he's not expecting Luke... yeah, I don't...
Chewie. Always thinking with his stomach.
Because it's not like the light side is shielded, like
no,
the dark side,
not
like,
at all.
Like at all. So like it would just... Vader, it's just more on his mind, because it is, okay, huh. I've never actually thought about that little detail before. Man, yeah, that animal, whatever. It looks like it's like, I don't know. Its mouth was its butt somehow, and it had like its the tail was its nose, and I don't know. It was a really weird.
It's a weird
looking.
But
animal.
Chewie was like, "I'm gonna eat this motherfucker." Okay.
Meat's meat. I don't know. I guess to Chewie. That's. I don't know what they eat back on Kashyyyk. I don't know. But I would assume Wookiees are probably. I mean. The top of the food chain when it comes to Kashyyyk, but
in the way that
like
we're the top of the food chain on Earth, probably. There's probably animals and things that could take them on head to head, but the Wookiees have figured out a way to be the civilized, quote unquote, species of the planet.
Is it known if like Wookiees are like species wide vegetarian? Like, are they at such peace with nature that they like their diet is completely like restricted in that sense, or like?
I don't believe so. At least not according to the Wookiee we know well, which is Chewbacca. It seems that he's always down to eat.
That's true.
A living
I guess true. He
creature.
Was going to eat that meat right there.
And he was going to eat a porg. He actually cooks one up, and then the porgs are like, hold the phone. And he's like,
true.
Fuck, fine.
True. Chewie could be an outlier. I don't know. And the maybe
it'd be funny if he was.
He's a true like Wookiee rebel. Of all of them, but I don't know the Wookiees. Yeah, this being the god. I've always wondered why they. Is it just that he's gold?
I'm guessing it's
R2?
the gilded. It's the gilded gold is what I've got to guess. Is that he just looks. looks regal to them.
Do they have a previous
I'm assuming they have a previously established god, and C-3PO resembles that god.
Man, because
and I mean he is just a protocol droid. It'd be funny if a protocol droid showed up years ago and became their leader, and then they're like it's the second coming.
Oh man, yeah, it's just it's a crazy thought, but like in a universe so wide, or in a galaxy so wide, there would be some life forms that are so, I don't know, that one protocol droid could spark a religion.
That's true.